Day 2.
On day one of the Maxwell trial, a tale of two Ghislaines. The assistant U.S. attorney calling the 59-year-old a predator who was setting up young girls for wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein, telling the jury the defendant was trafficking kids for sex. That is what this trial is all about. Maxwell, the daughter of a British media mogul and Epstein's former girlfriend, faces 6 criminal counts, all focused on a decade-long period between 1994 and 2004, when federal prosecutors say she helped recruit 4 underage girls to have sex with Epstein, and in some instances participated in the abuse herself. The prosecution detailed the experiences of one of those girls, who was just 14 when she allegedly met Maxwell at a summer camp. Prosecutors say her abuse went on for years when the girl was 15, then 16. They had a playbook. First, they got access to young girls, then they gained their trust. The defense arguing Maxwell is being blamed for crimes allegedly committed by Epstein, who took his own life in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. The defense called Maxwell a convenient stand-in, arguing the 4 alleged victims at the center of the case will come in here and they will point their finger at Ghislaine Maxwell. There is nobody else to point their finger at. They say Maxwell was in charge of managing Epstein's properties and was just one of many who fell victim to his manipulation. Maxwell's sister, Isabel, seen arriving to court amid a swarm of cameras, one of several family members who have publicly shown support. Maxwell has pleaded not guilty to all charges. The trial is expected to last 6 weeks.
Late yesterday, the pilot for Jeffrey Epstein's private jet took the stand, and he told the jury that he flew.
Later that day.
So the federal sex trafficking trial for Ghislaine Maxwell is set to resume now in just a few hours this morning. Prosecutors say the late Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend recruited dozens of underage girls for him to sexually assault.
Investigative reporter Terry Parker live in New York City. And Terry, you were in the courtroom yesterday. Catch us up to speed on what we can expect for day 2.
Right, and good morning from Manhattan. Well, today should be very interesting because now we're starting to hear the testimony. Prosecutors laid out their opening argument yesterday, as well as the defense. Prosecutors say that Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein were predators, and the story started in Palm Beach, that one of the victims was a 14-year-old girl they befriended, brought to Epstein's Palm Beach mansion, and then set her up for years of sexual abuse by Epstein. They say Ghislaine Maxwell was the orchestrator.
A few moments later.
Kenny.
And I'm Mark Kelly. Thank you for joining us for WPBF 25 News at noon. Now, it is day 2 of this federal sex trafficking trial in New York City. Our investigative reporter Terry Parker has been there in Manhattan following this case, joining us now live as the trial now continues into day 2. Terry, what were all the highlights?
Good afternoon, and today we're hearing from a true insider. This is Jeffrey Epstein's former pilot of 30 years, and he's describing Epstein's lavish lifestyle accompanied by Ghislaine Maxwell, as well as his ultra-luxurious houses, both in Florida, here in Manhattan, Paris, as well as in New Mexico. So the pilot, Larry Visacki, started talking about exactly how long he worked for Epstein and what happened when he was working there. He said that Epstein was a very big #1 in the organization and Ghislaine Maxwell was #2. He described Epstein's 10,000-acre New Mexico ranch, his Paris apartment, and his private island in the Virgin Islands. Prosecutors showed a picture of a very young-looking woman who was Maxwell's assistant, and pictures of Epstein's planes all the way up to a Boeing 727 with a round couch inside. Visacki says he remembers flying the witness that prosecutors are calling Jane. He says that she looked to be a woman to him, even though prosecutors say she was 14 at the time. And under cross-examination, he says he never witnessed any sexual activity on the plane, and absolutely none with any underage girls. The government is doing a good job of showing jurors, many who are not familiar with this case, of exactly how much money Epstein had and the ways he could get away to all of these private places. They're trying to show that that's where he and Maxwell abused all these young girls and took them back and forth on these private planes from one residence to another, and that would be part of the trafficking charges. So he's on the stand right now. Testimony continues all day. This trial is expected to last 6 weeks. Live in New York, I'm Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.
Terry, thank you. And Terry will have another report tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock. Plus, you can always follow along with the latest information on her social media pages. Follow her on Twitter and on Facebook. Brooke? All right, thank you.